What do you think can be done about the shootout struggles you guys have had so far?
I don't know. I mean, we've got to find ways to score goals. We're not helping our goalies. I think just find ways to get that first one and just try to put the pressure on the other team. That's basically all you can do in a shootout.
Sidney Crosby just got called out, and it happened during one of the toughest stretches of the Penguins season. In the past few days, big leads vanished, games slipped away late, and the scoreboard told a different story by the final horn. In the last 7 days, one of the most stable teams in hockey faced sudden trouble. Big leads disappeared. December 2025 became a tense stretch for Pittsburgh. The results, the numbers, and the words spoken afterward began to draw sharp attention. Over multiple games, the team lost leads in the third period and failed to close out victories. These results occurred during the regular season while the team remained active in playoff position discussions. On December 13, 2025, the Penguins lost 6-5 in overtime after leading 5-1 against the San Jose Sharks. Pittsburgh scored 5 goals through 2 periods and early into the third. San Jose then scored 4 goals in the third period. The tying goal came late in regulation. The winning goal came in overtime. Sidney Crosby recorded 1 goal and 1 assist in that game. His career points total reached 1,721 after the loss. At that time, he stood 2 points away from the franchise record for career points. This game marked the 4th straight loss for Pittsburgh during that stretch. Several of those losses followed a similar pattern. Pittsburgh built multi-goal leads. Those leads were not held through the final minutes. Earlier in the same week, the Penguins lost 5-4 in overtime to the Utah Mammoth. Pittsburgh held a 3-goal lead in that game. The Mammoth scored late goals to force overtime and then secured the win. Before that, the Penguins lost 4-2 to the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal's goalie made his NHL debut in that game and recorded 35 saves. Pittsburgh scored twice but did not score again after the second period. Another loss during this span came against the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Penguins lost that game 7-2. Sidney Crosby scored 1 goal in the loss, which became his 641st career NHL goal. Across these games, Pittsburgh allowed late goals in regulation time. In at least 2 games, opponents erased 3-goal or 4-goal leads during the third period. After the overtime loss to San Jose, Crosby spoke to the media. His comments focused on defensive play. He stated that the team allowed too many high-quality chances. He pointed specifically to chances coming from the slot area. He said that limiting those chances was necessary to prevent late goals. Crosby did not reference individual players. His comments addressed team structure and execution. He described the need to protect the middle of the ice and manage pressure during late stages of games. The Penguins' coaching staff also addressed the recent results. The head coach stated that the team allowed scoring chances at key moments. He said that closing out games required better defensive execution. At the time of these comments, Pittsburgh's record stood at 14 wins, 8 losses, and 8 overtime losses. The team competed in the Metropolitan Division and played home games at PPG Paints Arena. Sidney Crosby served as team captain. Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang served as alternate captains. Crosby led the team in points with 31 through 30 games. He also led the team in goals during that period. Malkin led the team in assists. Malkin was placed on injured reserve earlier in December with an upper body injury. He had recorded 29 points in 26 games before being sidelined. His absence required changes to line combinations. Forward, Rickard Rakell returned from injured reserve during this period. He missed 20 games due to a hand injury. Rakell was placed on the first line alongside Crosby upon his return. Before the injury, Rakell had 8 points in 9 games. During this same period, Pittsburgh completed a major trade. The Penguins acquired goaltender Stuart Skinner and defenseman Brett Kulak. In return, they traded goaltender Tristan Jarry. After the trade, Pittsburgh placed defenseman Matt Dumba on waivers. Dumba carried a cap hit of $3.75 million and was in the final year of his contract. Crosby entered his 21st NHL season in 2025 to 2026. He signed a contract extension in September 2024. That extension kept him under contract into the current season. Crosby, Malkin, and Letang became the first trio in major North American men's professional sports to play 20 seasons together with the same team. This milestone occurred earlier in the season. Crosby's comments after the losses did not assign blame to individuals. He focused on team responsibility. He stated that the team needed to reduce chances against and protect critical areas of the ice. The Penguins continued to compete in close games. In several losses, the team scored 4 more goals but still lost. These results affected their standings position and momentum. As December progressed, Pittsburgh remained active in games but struggled to close them. Official game logs documented the timing of goals and the shifts in score during final periods. League tracking systems showed that Pittsburgh had one of the higher counts of blown multi-goal leads during this short span. The Penguins continued their schedule with roster adjustments, injury returns, and lineup changes. Crosby remained on the top line and continued to log heavy minutes. The team's performance, Crosby's comments, and the recent losses became linked through official game summaries and post-game statements. The focus remained on late-game goals allowed and defensive execution during key moments. The season continued with additional games scheduled following this stretch. Team records, player statistics, and standings were updated daily through official league systems.
The Downtown Business Association hopes a high-profile new business will draw more people to the core. CTV got a look this afternoon at the progress being made at Bar Trove. Lauren Kyle McDavid is creating an office, furniture showroom, and bar in the historic Canada Permanent Building. Kyle McDavid says she's excited to be part of the revitalization happening downtown.
Connor McDavid's wife, Lauren Kyle, opened 2 new businesses in the city. She signed a major design deal. It all happened while McDavid stayed quiet about his contract. Now fans are paying attention. The timing is not random. These moves are bold, and they could mean McDavid is staying. Nothing has been confirmed, but everything just changed. Connor McDavid has not signed a new contract with the Edmonton Oilers. His current deal runs through July 2026. Starting July 2025, McDavid is allowed to sign an extension. If he does not sign, he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2026. That means any team in the NHL can make him an offer. The Oilers have said keeping McDavid is their #1 goal. General manager Stan Bowman said, "He's the best player in the league, most important player in the league. He's our captain. He's our leader." He also said McDavid will decide when he wants to talk about the contract. So far, McDavid has stayed silent. He told reporters after the 2025 Stanley Cup final that he was not in a rush. He added, "It's only been a couple days since the season ended. I'm going to take some time to regroup, but there's no rush on anything like that." While McDavid has said nothing more, Lauren Kyle has been very busy. She made 2 major announcements in Edmonton during the NHL offseason. The first was a brand new business called Trove Living. It opened in June 2025. It is a 9,000 square foot furniture showroom inside the Canada Permanent Building downtown. The space also includes a bar called Bar Trove. At the grand opening, Lauren Kyle said, "I've always wanted to have a brick and mortar. I wanted the general public to experience something that I created." The event brought together people from across Edmonton. Many wives and partners of current and former Oilers players attended, including Celeste Desjardins, who is engaged to Oilers player Leon Draisaitl. Just weeks before that opening, she also announced a new partnership with Monogram Canada. It is a 2-year contract that names Lauren Kyle as Monogram's first Canadian design ambassador. The company said in a statement, "Together, we are ushering in a new era of luxury and design for Canada." Lauren Kyle said, "Partnering with Monogram feels like a natural extension of my passion for design, cooking, and hospitality." In addition to those projects, Kyle is preparing for another business. She is the founder of Sports Club Atelier, a fashion and sportswear brand. That company recently designed jackets worn by the Oilers players' partners during the playoffs. She is now working with Team Canada as part of the company's 2026 Winter Olympics rollout. All of these business moves are based in Edmonton. None of the events were held in Toronto, Los Angeles, or any other city linked to McDavid trade rumors. The launch of Bar Trove and Trove Living came just days after the Oilers lost in the Stanley Cup Final to the Florida Panthers. They lost in 6 games. McDavid led the NHL in playoff points with 33, including 7 goals and 26 assists. He played 22 games in the 2024-25 postseason. He tied with Draisaitl for most points. During the regular season, he had 74 assists. He played a full season with the Oilers and has played for the team since they drafted him first overall in 2015. Lauren Kyle's Edmonton-based ventures have caused fans to start guessing about McDavid's future. On Reddit and social media, some fans say her growing role in the city could be a sign McDavid plans to stay long-term. One user wrote, "This was a good read about Lauren Kyle McDavid and her business ventures in Edmonton. Have to think this bodes well as another reason for McD to re-up for another 8 years." On TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, Oilers fans have posted videos and quotes pointing out that Lauren Kyle's public appearances are growing. She recently hosted an outdoor birthday party for McDavid. Photos from the event were shared in local media. The Oilers' Wives group posted Instagram stories from inside the new showroom and the grand opening event. This comes at a time when other NHL players are signing new deals. Leon Draisaitl signed an 8-year contract worth $112 million. That deal makes him one of the highest-paid players in the league. If McDavid signs a new deal, he could make even more than Draisaitl. If McDavid does not sign, the Oilers may be forced to trade him before 2026. That is because they might not want to lose him in free agency with no return. Sports media outlets have said teams like the Toronto Maple Leafs, Florida Panthers, and New York Rangers could offer him large contracts. In June, the Times of India reported that Kyle's decision to root herself in Edmonton is being discussed by NHL reporters. One article read, "Is Lauren Kyle McDavid quietly outshining her husband in Edmonton's spotlight?" The story focused on her design work, community appearances, and Monogram partnership. Retail Insider Canada also covered the Monogram news. Their report said Kyle's projects will bring elevated design to Canadian kitchens and set a new tone for appliance partnerships in Canadian interior design. Monogram's VP of Marketing said the partnership was created because of Kyle's strong presence in Canadian design culture. McDavid's wife was also featured in Elle Canada during the NHL playoffs. Her photo diary was titled, "Inside the NHL Playoffs with Lauren Kyle." It showed behind-the-scenes photos of Oilers events, playoff nights, and game day fashion. She also shared photos of their Edmonton home. As of now, Connor McDavid has not made any official decision about his future. But while he remains silent, his wife's growing business and brand development in Edmonton continues. This has added a new twist to the story. Her strong public presence in the city is leading many to believe that McDavid is more likely to remain in Edmonton. Business Insider Canada, Sportskeeda, and Essentially Sports have all published stories in the last 30 days about the impact of Lauren Kyle's growing local influence. Some fans believe that if she had plans to move, she would not launch multiple long-term partnerships in Edmonton within weeks of each other. The timing matters. Monogram's 2-year deal, Trove Living's full-scale showroom launch, and Kyle's fashion brand activation all began between May and July 2025. That is the exact same time McDavid would normally be expected to begin discussing his contract options. As of early July, there has been no further statement from McDavid or the Oilers organization. General Manager Bowman and CEO Jeff Jackson have both said they support whatever timeline McDavid wants to follow. The NHL's 2025 offseason continues. Free agency opened July 1st. Many major names have already been signed. McDavid remains under contract through 2026, but the silence around his next move is still a central story. With each passing day, the business moves of Lauren Kyle grow more visible, and fans are watching very closely.
As you said, yeah, it's only been a couple days since the season ended. Take some time to regroup. Talk to
agent a little bit and family and all that, and make some decisions whenever that time comes, but there's no rush.
Connor McDavid told reporters he wasn't in a rush to talk contracts. Now, weeks later, there's been nothing. With the team in off-season limbo and big names signing elsewhere, McDavid's silence now speaks louder than ever. The Oilers are waiting. The fans are waiting. But the captain still isn't saying anything. McDavid's silence is now a problem. And this silence could change everything for the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid is the captain of the Edmonton Oilers. He is one of the best hockey players in the world. McDavid has played his whole NHL career in Edmonton since the team picked him first in the 2015 NHL Draft. His current contract is an 8-year deal worth $100 million. That deal ends in July 2026. Right now, McDavid still has 1 year left on that contract. He will be allowed to sign a new deal starting on July 1st, 2025. If he does not sign, he becomes a free agent in 2026. That means any team in the league could offer him a deal. But so far, McDavid has not said if he will stay or leave. After the Oilers lost in the 2025 Stanley Cup Final to the Florida Panthers, reporters asked McDavid about his future. He answered, "It's only been a couple days since the season ended. I'm going to take some time to regroup, but there's no rush on anything like that." He also said, "If I feel there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem." That was the last time he spoke about it. McDavid's numbers this season were very strong. He had 74 assists in the regular season. He scored 33 points in 22 playoff games. He had 7 goals and 26 assists. His teammate Leon Draisaitl had the same playoff point total, but McDavid still hasn't said what he will do about his contract. The fans don't know. The team doesn't know. Other NHL teams are now watching closely. Stan Bowman is the general manager of the Oilers. He said, "He's the best player in the league, most important player in the league. He's our captain. He's our leader." Bowman said the team's #1 priority is to keep McDavid. He also said the contract talks will happen when McDavid is ready. But NHL free agency is already moving fast. Teams are signing players. The Oilers have to make choices about who to keep, who to sign, and how to build next season's team. But without knowing what McDavid wants, the team can't plan fully. That has caused a problem. If McDavid leaves, it could be a very big problem. The Oilers have made the playoffs 6 years in a row. They made the Stanley Cup Final 2 years in a row, but they lost both times. Some sports writers are saying McDavid might not want to wait much longer. If he doesn't think the team can win soon, he could decide to go somewhere else. Leon Draisaitl, McDavid's teammate and top scorer, signed a new deal last year. That deal is for 8 years and $112 million. If McDavid stays, he will likely make even more. Some reports say McDavid could become the highest paid player in the league. But that would mean the team has less money to spend on other players. If McDavid stays quiet much longer, the Oilers could be forced to trade him. They won't want to lose him in free agency for nothing. That's why some experts are saying the team needs to know soon. One article said McDavid's silence is wrecking the Oilers' free agency plans. Jeff Jackson is the CEO of the Oilers. He also used to be McDavid's agent. He said the next season will help decide everything. The team will wait, but not forever. Other teams, like the Toronto Maple Leafs and Florida Panthers, are already being mentioned as possible new homes for McDavid. Right now, every NHL team is watching. If McDavid doesn't say anything by the start of the season, the rumors will grow. Teams will begin making offers. Fans will keep asking questions. Even McDavid's teammates might start to worry. The Oilers had a record of 48 wins, 29 losses, and 5 overtime losses this past season. That was good enough to make the playoffs. They went all the way to the finals, but lost to the Panthers in 6 games. McDavid led the team in assists and was one of the top playoff performers in the entire league. But now all of that is in the past. The team needs to know what comes next. Free agents are being signed by other teams. The Oilers can't wait forever. And yet, McDavid says nothing. The pressure is building.
I know people are going to look at that July 1 day and be looking to see if there's anything done. But for me, I'm just not in a rush that way.
Something big is coming to hockey, and it's not just about one team. On July 1st, Connor McDavid will make a move no one saw coming. That move could change how the best players in the league get paid. It will break a rule that stars have followed for years. What happens next may change the NHL forever.
Winning would be it's the most important thing. If I feel that there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem.
Connor McDavid is one of the best hockey players in the world. He plays for the Edmonton Oilers. He has scored more than 100 points in many seasons. He has won the MVP award 3 times. He led the Oilers to the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. But on July 1st, the big story won't be about goals or assists. It will be about money, contracts, and something much bigger. McDavid signed his last contract in 2017. It was an 8-year deal worth $100 million. That means he has been making $12.5 million every year. This deal ends in 2026. But NHL rules say a player can start talking about a new contract 2 years before the old one ends. So on July 1st, 2025, McDavid will be allowed to sign a new deal. Most top players sign the longest deal possible. That's usually 8 years. It gives them more safety and helps the team plan for a long time. But this time, McDavid is expected to do something very different.